You retired too?
Not me. I'm in my prime.
Hey team, how we going? It is Kaz and lovely Lauren over here. And we're here as part of No Safe Spaces. Missing is Ed B, not in action. He's on the lounge, but he can't make it at the moment. In absence of that, we're going to bring you some topics and allow you to have a communique in comments below, give you a voice, so to speak. Today, we're going to be addressing a question with Lauren. Before we get to that, Lauren, what are you drinking?
Oh, I'm drinking Australian breakfast tea today. What are you drinking?
I'm having McDonald's coffee, no almond milk, double sugar, dice.
Yeah, I have low-fat milk in my tea.
I'm going to ask you, what is your topic and what is your directed question, call to action for those in comments so that they can address these to us and we can either answer them or hear another point of view, because that's what it's all about.
Well, my topic today is a college, I think it must be a private school in Warrnambool, has made, in Victoria, has made some male students as young as 12 stand up in an assembly and apologise to the female students on behalf of their gender. These students didn't do anything wrong. They just had a sexual harassment awareness class, and at the finish of the class, they were made to stand up and say that they were sorry for being men and on behalf of men. Excellent.
So this is your topic?
Yes.
Righto. Awesome. We're going to let you run away with that. But before you do, let's both ask a question that allows those that are watching this right now, giving us their time, fantastic. Subscribe right now and like if you do. And members can put in also topics you would like covered. What would you be to all of those 3 people that are listening?
Okay, to those 3 very special people, I would ask them if they were a teacher and they were put in the position where they were told that you have to include this, that you have to make the male students stand up and apologise. I want to know how they would handle it. Is that a deal breaker with your school that you work at? Or would you just do it to keep the peace?
And imagine if you're a male teacher or if you had sons.
Well, if you're a male teacher, shouldn't you get up and apologise too?
Good point. I'm not going to give an answer to that question yet because we no doubt we're going to talk about that.
Yeah.
My directed question to comments below, which might have 4 people watching, would be, so my question would be, as a parent, how do you respond to this when your child has got further education that has to happen in their school? How do you respond to that? What level of vitriol, anger, or agreeance do you have in this matter? Male or female, I don't care. If you were the parent, how would you respond to this when your child told you about these events?
I think it's Brauer College, but I'm not sure. I might be pronouncing that wrong. Sorry if I am. In Warrnambool, the headline says, makes boys apologise on behalf of their gender to female peers at school assembly. And it's, interestingly enough, it's a female mother who is horrified that her son had to do this.
A female mother?
Yes, indeed. We have to specify that these days.
There's only one mother, that's a mother or a grandmother.
Yeah, exactly. She was disgusted, and I don't blame her at all for going to the media. I would actually react exactly the same way. I would kick up a stink if that happened. Some of these male students were as young as 12, and they had to stand up at this assembly and apologise to their female peers. And they say that it's coming as sexual harassment in Australian schools is starting to be widely discussed. The state government has been making sexual consent classes mandatory in Victorian schools. That's, I think, starts next month. But the parents said that their children were left confused and upset by the incident at an all-school assembly. So it was the entire school that was at the assembly. they watched a video that was to do with sexual consent, and at the end of it, they were made to stand up and apologise to the opposite gender on behalf of their own gender. The boy, whose mother has spoken to the media, he wasn't sure why he had to apologise. He just knows he was told to get up and apologise for things he hadn't done, which is ludicrous. You know, why are we punishing these kids? You know, we don't even make people who are convicted or in trouble for sexual harassment get up and apologise. Why are we making innocent children who haven't done anything do it? Apparently the boy's really upset now, as I imagine you would be. It's a really formative year, you know, when you're that young.
And asexual.
Yeah, well, exactly. And it's crazy. So the mum has said that he now has this misconception that everybody is looking at him and males as predators and someone who's wishing to do harm to someone in a sexualized way. He is 12. These aren't things that he had on his mind, but now he's feeling guilty, like he's a predator.
An email's not going to be enough. And you need to go to the education head and say, I want this person removed. And I'm not cancel culture. You know that at all.
Yeah, no, exactly. Exactly.
Up at their mouth so they show who they truly are. But action has to be taken. They need to be removed because there's something systemically wrong in their brainstem. What is your agenda? What are you trying to actually achieve here? You know, what's the end state, the end goal? What do you think about your own grandfather, father, male figures, policemen, firemen?
Yeah.
You know,
soldiers, people who do things to help people. Why should they feel guilty for the very few's crimes? I agree with the mother that it is important that we do talk about consent and things like that. That is important, but this is not how you do it. She said it was just really badly executed. I think she's right about that. And also to single out an entire gender is terrible. What do we get all the female students now to stand up and apologise on behalf of because of fake pregnancies?
Or say sorry in advance for future nagging?
Or for future fake rape allegations? Do they get up and apologise now in front of the male students? There is no logic, in any of this.
Yeah, and look, the sexualisation of children is despicable in the first place.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, we've still got people at that age that believe in Santa Claus.
Yeah. Yeah, look,
metaphorically.
Exactly. And we need to let our children stay children for as long as possible. The school did clarify their stance on it, and they conceded that the gesture of making them apologise was inappropriate.
This conversation should have happened before it got to that.
Exactly.
Did it come from a teacher or did it come from a principal?
That's what nobody seems to know.
What's the media doing in response?
Yeah, the media said they contacted the college for further comment, but they haven't received any back yet. So it might be an interesting one to watch and see what actually happens with that. But I felt so sad for those boys having to do that. They hadn't done anything wrong. They hadn't been in front of a magistrate. They hadn't, had a chance to have any fair trial because there was no crime.
Yeah. That's it. That's almost an adult bullying children, bullying males.
But it seems odd that we're stuck in between this. There is no gender. Let's stop gendering everything. But then it's okay to do if they're men. We'll just single them out and make them the bad guys always.
Yeah, and as the recipient being white, blonde-haired, blue-eyed.
Yep.
I'm guilty from the second I wake up. But that's not what this one's all about. This is about teachers, most trusted people with our children as the ambassadors of good behaviour, morals and traditions and customs and traditions.
Yep.
Absolutely going off the reservation, brown paper bagging, trying to reprogram people behind our backs. That should have been part of personal development classes as would start to get year 9 and upwards.
Mm-hmm.
But This is a really...
Yeah, exactly.
Are they trying to create a civil war inside the school? Are they going to try and create a you've been bullied, okay, and I'll tell you how I know, sort of putting the crime before it's occurred?
It's even occurred, exactly. And even if it did occur, there is certain steps that we take. There's certain things we can do about that. And I would just like to say that as an actual sexual assault survivor, I don't need men to apologise to me for it. I don't even want the person who did it to apologise to me for it. I want them re-educated. And that is it. I don't want them to do it to anyone else. But it would be empty to have other men who had nothing to do with it apologise to me. I would be then victimising them.
Yeah, we've got a judicial system and a court of law for bad behaviour when it pops up. So there's already something there in place. These people tend to do it behind closed doors, etc. Okay, because they know they're doing the wrong thing and get caught up in that net. We don't have a culture of the R here.
No.
There is
and
in
it
some
seems
countries.
ironic. It seems ironic in the climate that's going on in Canberra at the moment that we've got schoolboys having to apologise for this when there is truly terrible behaviour from our top politicians on this same subject.
Well,
maybe they should be taking these classes. Yeah. And even then, they shouldn't all be apologising for things they didn't do.
Yeah.
So that's my topic. Sorry if it makes you angry.
No, it's fine.
It made me angry, it made me sad. I had a lot of feelings about it.
Well, I'll put things in perspective. There would be a completely different response if you and I were married, or you lived next door to me, and we both had sons at that same school. Then the response, if I went there, they'd go, "Oh, why wouldn't you be angry? Now you're perpetrating exactly what we're talking about, male aggression." Whereas if you turned up, they'd go, "Oh, sorry, Karen."
Yeah, exactly. Exactly right. Yeah, yeah.
So basically, in conclusion, this school in Warrnambool, which is, I believe, a rural school, which you don't expect that from.
Yeah, I believe it's a rural place. It's a lovely place. I've been there.
Lauren has brought it to our attention. It's hit the media. So the parents have been outraged. I don't know what the actions are going to be. This is a conversation. It could be coming to your school next. How would you treat the situation? How would you treat it, Lauren? What would you do?
Well, I would hope that I would.
Same school.
I would hope I'd be warned about it before it happening, but these parents obviously weren't. If my kid came home saying that happened to them, I would be ropeable. I would be first on the phone to the principal, then I would be on to the education department, and if they didn't listen, I'd be on to Twitter, because this is just not right. This is damaging to these young men.
Don't take it to the project, because they'll probably say, you're the one that's wrong. Okay, guys, that's a wrap on this one. Let us know in comments, one, what your thoughts are, the devil's advocate, so to speak, or what your response would be if you had a child or children. Imagine if you had a son and a daughter at the school. That conversation happened that night. Let us know in comments below as you like, dislike, okay, subscribe, and put in a comment. Don't just sit on the fence. Don't be a fence sitter. We'll get back to another subject. Thank you very much, Lauren.
Oh, thank you.
You have a good day, you classy bastards.
You retired too?
Not me. I'm in my prime.